In this video, we're going to talk about wheelchair harnesses, what they are, how they work, and some of the key distinctions that are going to allow you to select just the right one for you. Oh, and we're going to talk about wheelchair harnesses in sports as well. Todd, nice to see you again.
Good to be here.
So we're surrounded by either small children wearing harnesses or normal people, but just half of them. Tell me about wheelchair harnesses. What are they? How do they work?
The harnesses are used to position people in a wheelchair, and typically it's to position their shoulders and their upper body so it stays in appropriate relationship to their pelvis.
Okay, now one distinction here that's important. This is a wheelchair positioning technology, not a safety technology.
Correct.
So talk me through some of the distinctions here. How are these four things different? They all look like black straps to me.
Right. Like this one is called a trim, and this one actually stretches, so it gets a bit of stretch. So if you're doing this in a wheelchair, it will allow you to move a little bit. This one is a very similar one, but it is a full size that is a larger, it has a larger piece of material right in the center.
Okay.
Sometimes these are used for women, sometimes these are used for men, but they are used interchangeably.
Okay.
This one also has a protective covering in case you don't want to get your vest material very dirty.
So
you can put these covers on.
Food and spilling and whatever else.
Right, food and spilling. You can take those off, throw them in the washer, and you're good.
Okay.
This one is one that does not stretch. Both of these have some movement in them. Mm-hmm. This one does not. It's sort of somebody that has a lot of tone that's bouncing a lot, and you really want to hold their shoulders back. It's just not going to move. And then this one is sort of in between them all. Where this one doesn't move at all, these move. This one has a little bit of motion until the straps
kick in,
reach.
and
they
then you
kick
hit
in
there.
and you can't move anymore.
I was thinking that was more, I mean, this is just me and I'm not wildly experienced here. I was thinking you could attach things to that and like MacGyver style.
You could.
But that's not what that's for.
Not correct.
All right, cool. So some of these that are more kind of immobilizing, would they be useful in the context of wheelchair sports?
Oh, absolutely. Depending on how much movement you need or could use in the sporting event, you could very well use these to give you the appropriate postural support, but enough movement to reach down, to grab something, and to ram into your buddy in a rugby game or something. Yeah.
Now, I've heard there's quite a lot of wheelchair sports. I'm hearing wheelchair harnesses could be used for tennis, wheelchair harnesses can be used for speed sailing, for basketball, for motocross. Have you ever seen wheelchair motocross? This is something I've never heard.
Oh, there's all sorts of very interesting athletics going on in this world. It's fun to watch. It's very exciting. But yeah, many of these can be customized also to meet that specific need, and we can do that.
Okay, so talking of customizing, there is quite a lot of different features here. Now, we've spoken about materials, but one of the things is how they clip together. There's different kinds of quick release versus other clips. Can you talk me through some of the other features here?
Yeah, in some cases, like down on the bottom, they're like this one actually would be attached to your wheelchair with a cam. To loosen it, you would just flip the cam open and you can adjust the height or the length of that strap.
Okay.
This one happens to have a strap that goes over the shoulder and the buckle is in the back with a cam. This one actually has a patented buckle that goes around your shoulder, but it doesn't loosen. A lot of time these buckles, the webbing pulls out
over time.
Yeah, this one doesn't do that. And
that has a hinge built into the buckle.
Yeah, it actually has we call it a hinge buckle.
Well,
so, yeah,
that
there
makes
you
sense
go.
to me. Okay, good.
But yes,
and then there's the MacGyver model over there.
Right, the MacGyver. And then there's also other models. There's ones that sort of weave together. There's 3-point. There's many, many different varieties.
Okay, good. Anything that when someone's selecting a wheelchair harness that they should know, they should look out for beyond what we've discussed so far?
I believe you have to think about where it's going to attach on the wheelchair and how you want to tighten the vest or harness on the person. In some cases, you might want to be in back. So like this one might be appropriate because you have the pull straps in the back.
Okay, just for tightening from the,
From the tightening, and it goes all the way down to the back. and others you can do from the front and so forth. So, and also the kind of material, do you want stretch? Do you want not stretch? Do you want it cleanable? Many different things to think about, but it's not that hard.
Okay, and final thing, you spoke briefly about how you attach these harnesses to the wheelchair. Talk me through that process a little bit.
Yeah, in many cases, a harness would be used when you are seated in a wheelchair that has a rigid back.
Okay.
So not necessarily a sling back.
Okay.
Because you have to have an attaching point over the shoulder.
Okay.
So in many cases, you'll have some kind of rigid back to connect the top attaching point to.
Thanks very much, Todd. I appreciate your insight there about wheelchair harnesses. For those of you who'd like to find out more, please visit us online at starhomehealthcare.com or call us directly on 855-862-8857. And hey, do me a favour, if you have any questions, please put them in the comments section below, or feel free to like the videos, share the video, and of course, subscribe to our YouTube channel.